Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user Aga1996. My 20 female with my best friend 23 female of 7 years. Her wedding is on my birthday and she is upset. My best friend Nikki is generally a very great person. Although she can be a little selfish at times, everyone can. She decided to have her wedding on my birthday because it's on a Saturday and would be cheaper to do it at her church on a Saturday, which is fine by me, it's just one birthday. But she seems to think it's not just one birthday. You see, the other day all of our friends and we were at her house and she was talking about her wedding. She said something like, "We will do a birthday celebration for you the week after since your birthday is on my wedding day." I just laughed and said, "Actually, your wedding is on my birthday, cause my birthday came first." And we both laughed about it, but then she said, "I'm just surprised with you being okay with not getting to celebrate your birthday anymore." Everyone in the room was kind of confused and I just laughed it off and said, "Well, it's not like we're all going to celebrate your and Dan's anniversary every year." But after that, she got seriously offended and said, "You guys don't want to spend our anniversary with us?" One of our friends, Lily, tried to explain that their anniversary was really Nikki and Dan's time, but Nikki was so upset that she eventually went upstairs to sulk. I mean, she can't honestly expect everyone to never celebrate my birthday again to hang out with her and her husband on their anniversary? Am I being unreasonable at thinking this is a ridiculous idea? It makes me irritated that she thinks this is actually how things are going to be from now on. How can I address this issue to her without being rude about it? Yikes, OP, it kinda does sound like that's exactly what she's thinking, that since she picked your birthday to have her wedding, cause I mean it could have been any other Saturday, right? I mean it's not like the church would be packed every single Saturday, right? But regardless, her wedding is on your birthday and apparently the way she sees it is from now on that is her day, not yours anymore. Which means that from now on, your birthday will be trumped by her anniversary celebration, and I'm pretty sure she's assuming that her friends are going to celebrate her anniversary. She's just delusional. I'm getting some really heavy self-centered vibes from Nikki. Everything revolves around her and about her. And because of that, I actually believe that there is no possible way that you can address this without her taking it as a personal attack or you being rude about her special day. Now, unfortunately, you say that she's a really great friend. Is she really? If she is such a great friend, how come she wants to actually delete your birthday from existence or ever being celebrated again? That doesn't sound very nice to me. So honestly, I'd really consider if you want to stay being best friends with somebody who would treat you this way. And what do you guys think about this whole situation? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Jenny Wayfam says, "I honestly wouldn't stress too much or even bother discussing this or addressing this with her because no one is going to go along with her idea that celebrating their anniversary every year constitutes a group event. That's honestly absurd, and I don't think even her husband would go along with it when the time actually comes. Let her believe whatever weird crap she wants to for now. No point in stressing out a bride to be over it. If it comes up in a year's time and she genuinely expects that there is going to be some group occasion to celebrate their anniversary, you're not going to be the only one telling her she's off base." Ari Hare says, "She's being weird. I have catered hundreds of weddings. There were at least half a dozen times where someone close to the bride and groom had a birthday. What usually happened is the couple or the announcer said something about it. Most of the time there was a small birthday cake with a candle brought out. All the guests sing to the embarrassment of the birthday person. Everyone laughs and has a good time and nobody forgets there is a wedding or fails to pay attention to the bride and groom. In other words, she's making it into a big deal when she could just welcome it and even integrate it into the tradition." Posty Wife said, "I used to have exactly the same problem, though my friend had married before I met her. For the first 9 years of our friendship, she would get horribly upset if I or any of our mutual friends neglected to show as much enthusiasm for her wedding anniversary as for my birthday. Then she left her husband because she'd fallen for a married colleague. You would think this would at least ease the whole birthday thing, but then she made it clear that I should feel guilty for my birthday falling on the same day as her failed marriage. In the end, I realized the friendship really wasn't worth it. Additional information from OP's comments. She did ask beforehand. I just figured I could celebrate the night before, but I don't think she wants to do that because there's a tradition that the bride and groom aren't supposed to see each other the night before, so she wants her and Dan to have sleepovers with their friends. Nikki loves to be in the spotlight. She's always been very self-absorbed and an attention-on-me kind of person. She has a baby and almost never lets anyone sit her because she doesn't want to miss out on any milestones. But she does go kind of attention crazy with the baby, 1,000 pictures, his own hashtag on Instagram. I think she wants to create a mommy blog, but a lot of new parents do that, I think. Regardless, that has never bothered me since I'm a step back kind of person and she's always really happy and supportive when I do something or achieve something. It's just that when things don't go the way she imagines, she can be irrational. She's not necessarily vindictive, so I think she probably genuinely thought I wouldn't mind since I'm not the kind of person who likes to have huge parties, but I still like to do smaller get-togethers. As I said, she can be kind of selfish and whiny because she likes attention. Now, I have to say, I don't think she should be getting married. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Dan, I've been friends with him since high school, but they haven't really been together enough and they kind of have a rough time. I think they should have waited to get married and have a kid, but Nikki's only goal has always been to have a family and marriage and a house. My friends think she's acting crazy and think her marriage won't last and stuff, so they aren't very gung-ho about the wedding. It's like she's rushing everything, even her honeymoon, which is a cruise that she invited me and my boyfriend and another couple in our group on. But it's because the 6-people deal was cheaper than the individual. Although she hasn't decided exactly if that's what she wants to do, so nothing has been decided, but that's definitely up there. Alright, well, OP got some pretty solid advice about just don't mind her and try to move on or don't pay too much attention to this weirdo. And in her additional context, OP gave us a glimpse at to what's kind of going on inside Nikki's head. Yikes. So by now I'm guessing you guys want to know how the wedding went. Well, let's move on to that in the update and see how this story ends. Hello everyone, maybe you remember me, maybe you do not. Almost a year ago I posted about my best friend and her wedding and my birthday issues. For a quick recap, my best friend was upset that we would apparently never celebrate her anniversary with her since her wedding was on my birthday. A few months ago, Nikki got married and I turned 21. The wedding day was not terrible, but there was a little bit of drama. She did get me a birthday cupcake, even though I couldn't eat it since it was cream cheese frosted, which is my favorite, but it had been sitting in her car for a week since she had forgotten about it, which was whatever. The ceremony was nice and the reception was in the church, which was in the same church the wedding was in if you didn't remember. The reception was from 4 to 7. It was a small reception with mostly family and some of her friends. At 7, when everyone was leaving, our mutual friend Helen and I went to the bathroom to get changed in appropriate bar hopping clothes so we could celebrate my birthday, and some, not all, of our guy friends did the same. When we came out to leave for a party district about an hour away, Nikki came up to us and demanded to know where we were going. Even though I had told her like 2 weeks before that we would be celebrating my birthday that night. After reinforming her, she got very upset and started telling us that as a part of her wedding party, we were obligated to help her pack up the decorations and wedding gifts and get her ready for her hotel wedding night. I just told her that we already had this planned and that we had already told her 2 weeks ago. If she forgot, then that wasn't my fault. Helen pointed out that Nikki's grandma was willing to help her with everything and she didn't necessarily need us there. Nikki stomped off to go do who knows what, and Helen, other friends and I left to go to our first bar. After a successful birthday night, yay 21, I woke up the next morning to a few missed calls and voicemails from Nikki. The basic gist of them was, "You're a terrible friend, I can't believe I had you in my wedding party. You would rather go get plastered than spend any time preparing me for one of the most important nights of my life. I can't believe how selfish you are, etc., etc., etc." I ignored them. After that exchange, she didn't talk to me for about 2 weeks. She's the type of person who needs to cool off, so I figure that was the best course of action anyway. She later texted me excitedly about the details of her honeymoon. Her grandmother is paying for an all-inclusive 1-week trip to Tahiti. She apologized for the fact that we wouldn't be doing the couples cruise deal, but she figured that she and Daniel would need more privacy on their honeymoon. I agreed, and we have only talked about trivial things since, every now and again. She has a new best friend who is now engaged and also has kids for her son to play with. One girl the same age that they joke about getting married one day. Nikki and her new best friend are extremely similar, and I'm getting the sense that the friendship will last for years or implode in a few months. Only time will tell. All in all, I consider this a great update. Extended update from OP's comments. I did ask her if it would be okay if we left when the reception ended to go celebrate my birthday. Maybe I should have put that in my OP, but I thought it wasn't a huge deal. In any case, there wasn't a way to duck out discreetly. It was a small wedding church reception, and I didn't parade anyone out. The bathrooms are in a different part of the church than the reception was in, so no one would see us changing, and her family wasn't paying very much attention to us. A good majority of the guests, besides Nikki's and Daniel's parents, Nikki's grandma, and guests that had brought decorations for the wedding, had already left, so it's not like I was making a show of taking all of her friends from her on her wedding night. I left with 4 people, one of them my boyfriend, and only one other was part of the wedding party. Perhaps my exit wasn't tactful, which I will keep in mind later, but I'm just very relieved to not have to deal with any more of her drama. The only thing they had was wedding gifts and some fake flowers. Everything else was lent to them by family and friends attending the wedding. Maybe we should have helped, but it's all over and done with now. I can't go back. Also, her wedding night was apparently still special. She had picked up some special lingerie at some point, but honestly, I don't know what else she could have wanted or expected from me. Maybe she wanted a super sexy pedicure for her toes or something, although it would have been a little late at this time. Maybe I should have asked her what she wanted to see what she would have said. But she might have still taken that as an offer. I guess we will never know. She is the type of person who likes everything to be absolutely special and absolutely the best. Nikki never celebrates anyone else's birthdays. I've never gotten a birthday present, not that I expect one, or birthday anything from her, except my stale birthday cupcake. I'm sure it was somewhat thoughtful on her side. I mean, she did go to the store with the thought of buying someone else something, but a week-old cupcake wouldn't be super tasty. Anyways, she does expect everyone to go out to an expensive dinner every year for her and her husband's birthdays. And she's definitely the type of person to throw a party for her anniversary every year and expect people to bring gifts. She does that with almost every event. Overall, I don't think I lost in this situation. And for those of you wondering, I'm not jealous, but I am grateful that I'm not in the best friend position anymore. We'd been best friend for 7 years, and this wasn't wedding day behavior. This is Nikki's behavior. Maybe I've made some mistakes and been inconsiderate of her, but I've always tried my best to be a good friend. Maybe I shouldn't have left the reception when it was over, but I expressly asked her 2 weeks prior if me and a couple of others could leave when the reception ended to have a birthday celebration for me, and she said it was fine. And even though we wouldn't be very good friends from now on, I hope her marriage doesn't implode. She already has a kid, and I know she loves him, so I hope they do alright. I'm just glad to not be part of it anymore. Alright OP, well, I'm gonna count this as a happy update just like you are. Particularly because you were able to pass down the torch, although unknowingly, to somebody else who apparently is just as bad as Nikki, so let's see how that goes. As a side note, am I the only one that gets creeped out when adults start marrying off their children? I just find that really creepy. But anyways, thank you OP so much for sharing, it's a great update and all the best in the future. Take care. Now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's by user Fox Got Socks. Supervisors tried to make me look bad, so I made them look worse. I'm an attorney and used to work at a state government office where I had 2 supervisors, one from my practice group and one from my section, who from the very beginning decided to make it their business to treat me like crap. Section Chief had a habit of sitting on client questions for days, then assigning them to me. Then, when the client would inevitably ask why it was taking so long to do their stuff, she'd respond only that I was the one working on that stuff, making it look like the delay was my fault. Similarly, Group Supervisor's favorite cockweasel try was to try to get me in trouble with both clients and higher-ups in our office for not doing things fast enough, despite the fact she would procrastinate for weeks on reviewing or signing off on work I actually did very fast indeed. But what these two hosebeats did not know was that A, I was saving all the emails they sent me that would include information like dates they assigned me work, etc., and B, one of the aforementioned higher-ups was my former boss during an internship in law school, so he liked me and knew I wasn't lazy or an idiot. So one day, the group supervisor assigned me a question from our client agency involving a citizen's public records request, and I prepared a draft response within an hour and sent it back to her. I needed her to sign off on it before I advised the client. But despite my getting a read receipt for my email, she did not respond for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. It should be noted that I did have a policy of following up with people when I didn't get timely responses, but had previously been told by this supervisor that she didn't need reminding about my emails, so I stopped doing that with her. The client was supposed to answer the records request within a tight deadline under the law and eventually emailed group supervisor to ask where the hell their answer was. The group supervisor finally woke up and forwarded her original email assigning me the work to Section Chief to complain that I didn't do it in good time. And then Section Chief forwarded that to the client and told them it was my fault it wasn't done yet. So I, having finally had enough, rubbed my little hands together in delight and proceeded to 1. Reply all to Section Chief's email to client attaching my email to Group Supervisor containing the draft response. I innocently wrote, "Apologies for the inconvenience, client. Our office rules is to wait for supervisory sign-off before providing advice, but I've nevertheless attached draft advice prepared on this date. Group Supervisor and Second Chief, do you agree with this advice? May client act upon it." 2. Forward that response to the former boss and very politely ask him, in instances where there is a tight time frame to respond to a client question, is it okay to provide the client with provisional draft advice like this within the deadline, but let them know a supervisor needs a little more time to do their review and sign off? The client ended up praising me for my efforts to get a response to him in a timely fashion, and former boss thanked me for my question but said it should never have been an issue in the first place. Then sent out an office-wide notice to remind supervisors that they must provide necessary sign-offs on the advice within deadlines and must never blame those under them for delays in front of clients because that affects the image of the whole office. He attached the emails in my matter as an example of what supervisors should not do, so literally everyone saw what incompetent ass clowns they were. Oh, this was awesome, OP. You called them out in such a classy way. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.